I was not planning on making another video already. I've just uploaded my first video after a year. And this news though is so interesting, so juicy and so ridiculous that I just had to report on it. As you all know, I'm a big DC fan. That was pretty much what I built my channel off of, was the Snyderverse, Restore the Snyderverse campaign, Snyder Cut, all of that. Moving all that aside, it has just come out in the New York Post that Warner Brothers have allegedly shelved a, quote, irredeemable Batgirl movie. This movie cost allegedly 70 million, that's their projected loss. However, if you actually read the article, they go on to say the budget is reported to be closer to over $100 million. And that has been shelved. And this is not strange for the new CEO of Warner Brothers. He also axed CNN Plus, as the article states, after just a few short times after its launch, because it didn't have enough subscribers, and that was a 300 million plus service. So they are no stranger to doing this, to cutting projects, to losing money, but this just seems really crazy. I mean, this allegedly comes after there were test screenings held for the movie, and it was just so bad that, and I'm quoting from the article here, Warner Brothers decided to cut its losses and run. I don't really know what to say about this, to be honest. I think it's clear that DC are going through so many problems right now, be it Ezra Miller, be it the Snyderverse, be it no continuity in any of their films at the moment. They want to do this whole segmented universe thing where it doesn't all take place in the same universe. They just want to tell good stories, but clearly they're not doing that. I mean, we had the Batman, which was a huge success. I think everyone can agree on that. It's one of my top movies of the year. But one movie out of the countless that have been released so far, and you think of how many of them have not done well in this time. We've had Birds of Prey. I liked the movie by the end of it. I didn't like it at first, but on rewatching it I liked it. But a lot of people hated that movie. A lot of people don't seem very interested in Black Adam. A lot of people definitely are not interested in seeing Aquaman 2 unless Amber Heard's role is completely removed, which allegedly it is not. I think people underestimate how much that will hurt Aquaman 2. It's just a mess right now for DC. It really is a mess. And it's very strange to me to still be reporting on the fact that DC is such a mess an entire year later. The fact that they have not come any further. They've had one good movie in that entire time. That's just really depressing to think about. But this is what we're used to with DC. This is what we're used to with Warner Brothers. They are a mess. They can't get any of their divisions under control. Harry Potter gone to the flames. Game of Thrones, maybe this new series will do well, but that went to the flames. And now, of course, DC completely gone to the flames. And it feels like Warner Brothers are really, really, really struggling to find their franchise like Disney have with Marvel and Star Wars, and even to a degree the Pixar movies and stuff. They have their kind of star franchises that even when they don't do well, they still get plenty of fan support. This one has not. DC, they just have always had this problem of being so divisive that no one can ever agree on whether it's good or not, except for the movies we're all tired of hearing about by now. The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. We've all heard about those movies so many times at this point. I don't want to go too into them. We all know they're good. So yeah, also in this article it says Warner Brothers has allegedly split itself into segments, and one of those segments is a dedicated DC film production. What exactly are they doing then? Because I do not see the fruits of that labour anywhere. There is nothing to me that has appealed to me from DC since the Snyder Cut. And I know that sounds bad. Obviously, I liked the Batman, but even the trailers for that didn't necessarily appeal to me. I just ended up watching the film, and luckily I thought it was very good. And even then, there are lots of people who do not like the Batman. They have this constant problem of not being able to make a universally liked movie. And I know that sounds stupid, because who can make a universally liked movie? Marvel can. Obviously, the exception is Phase 4, but until then, people forget that Marvel was practically an unbreakable machine. It was constantly getting rave reviews. It was pretty much a guaranteed $1 billion at the box office every time one would come out, unless it was a slightly smaller scale movie. And, you know, they, even with Phase 4, they still had, while it wasn't as beloved, they still had a very strong legion of fans who did enjoy the movie. I think a lot of that was Wanda stans, myself included, but they still really liked their movies. This is not happening for DC, it's not happening for Warner Brothers. They're constantly making fools of themselves, and I really hope they get it together. I mean, they've had how many different companies come in and try and save them at this point, and it still hasn't worked. They only just managed to get rid of Toby Emmerich, and even then, he's not gone properly. He is one of their biggest problems. They refuse to address these things. They refuse to address them, and not only that, rather than address them, they would rather bury these problems with new announcements, new this, new that, these breaking stories about how Snyder fans are all bots, stuff like this. You know, they constantly try and bury their problems rather than address them and fix them, and I think that's really where they're going wrong. So, like I said, I don't really know what to say about this, but it's really big news. I find it really interesting. As you know, one of my favourite reviewers is Grace Randolph, who also loves the business side of Hollywood, and that's one of my favourite sides of Hollywood, is the business side. And this is just crazy to me. Like, you factored this in with the CNN Plus cancellation, and that's nearly $500 million lost. So, you know, good luck to Warner Brothers. This was just a very... apologies. This was just a very, very quick update for you guys, a quick breakdown of the news stories. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these when really cool, kind of interesting news stories come out. And yeah, I guess we need to hope for the best from Warner Brothers, because right now they are doing a very bad job with everything, it seems. So thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully see you next time with some more positive news. Goodbye.